Good morning. Welcome to MagnaWave Office Hours for this Tuesday morning. I'm Pat Zemer, the CEO of MagnaWave. I come to you every Tuesday morning in an office hours type situation to discuss whatever it is you might want to talk about with regard to PEMF therapy, MagnaWave, devices, device strength, protocols, how it's used, where things are going as far as research, whatever that may be that you want to know more about. Simply type your question into the chat box, or you can even give me a call. Let me give you the number if you'd like to call. It's 502-599-9722. 502-599-9722. Today, if you want to call and ask a question or share some experience you've had with MagnaWave, I'll give you a piece of MagnaWave gear, a hat, a shirt, whatever it is that you might want. So if you want to give me a call and discuss something, that would be absolutely great. And that's what we're doing today. A couple of things I want to go over before I get into some questions. And again, if you have a question, just put it into the chat box and we'll take a look at it and make our best shot. We've been working a lot with the MagnaWave app. We've had some issues the last month or so, and basically, just kind of explain, if you don't know about the MagnaWave app, it's an app that's available for our certified practitioners to use for record keeping, emailing their customers, keeping track of their customers, and so on and so forth. But it's for our certified practitioners. But we've had some issues, and we've got all those issues resolved. The bottom line is we store information in the app. For example, there's a lot of apps you use, you turn them on, you go into the app, you ask it to do something, it does it, and bingo, you get the result that you're looking for. With our app, we are actually storing your customers' information. We have an area where you can keep track of your treatments, show where you treated, update the treatments, send that information to your veterinarian, your customers, your doctor, whoever it is that you might be working with in any of these types of situations. That requires a lot of storage and server space and servers to keep track of all this. One server keeps track of the customers, another server keeps track of the treatments and results that you're posting and that whole type of thing. So it's really a piece of software in addition to being an app. And that's causes to make sure that we're keeping up with it and making it effective all the way across the board. Frankly, we have a long way to go in making it the perfect app, but it's a one-time charge type of app, and it's not a monthly fee to keep your records or do any of that kind of stuff. But we have 5 servers that are in place and required to use the app, and we had one server that had a little flaw down deep inside that was giving a lot of folks an error. And we got that resolved, and now it's ready to go. But from that perspective, when you put your information into the app and you save it, and you need to make sure you save it properly and do all of that. I used to have the problem, I'd go into the app, I'd type a bunch of stuff, and then I'd go to the next screen and I didn't hit save. Save's in the upper right hand corner. I'd come back and think, well, it didn't save it. Well, I didn't save it. I just went to the next screen. I reduced my thing and punched over, and so you got to make sure that you save what you're working on. But so anyway, there's little things and tricks to the trade and how to use it. But all the information is there. It's on a server, not on your phone. So it's out there so you can get to it if you have a problem or something like that. So it's all there. But it's not shared with us. It's your information for private use. Your customers are stored in there privately. We don't have access to that, but it is the app that's available to our practitioners. With that said, if you are a practitioner and you've gone to the app store and you've bought the app and you've downloaded it and it's asking for a password and a login, we send you that information. When you became certified, you received an email from Aaron telling you what the password and what the login is and where you go get the app for you to use. So if you don't have that information, you can call the office, send Aaron an email. It's Aaron@MagnaWavePEMF.com. And then she will make sure that you've got the information that you're looking for. Again, it's available for our certified practitioners. That's why it requires us to give you a password and a login to get into the app to begin to use it. And if you have questions, give us a call, and we'll be happy to answer those questions with and about the app. Okay, something else that we've been doing that is, I think, going to be very educational for you and very educational for our customers, your customers, if you're a practitioner or if you're interested in PEMF, is we're using the Alexa app. We're using Alexa and the Echo Dot to provide a daily flash briefing about MagnaWaving or about PEMF. So you can learn something every day, and they're about a minute to a minute and a half long, a tidbit of information that can help you expand your understanding of MagnaWave and PEMF, or if you're a practitioner, you can suggest your customers and expand their depth and how you're concerned about their knowledge of PEMF. So that's the Alexa app. We're going to put the link up for you to go there. It's on the website, and you can take a look at it and subscribe to the briefing, and we'll be giving you briefings, as I said, every day. You want to listen to these because I'll be throwing in, we'll have a monthly contest of people who listen to the briefing, and if they want to answer the question that I'm going to pose from time to time, or send a text that they'll be entered for a drawing to receive a prize, maybe gear, or it could be attachments, or any number of things that we'll be doing to incentivize you to learn more about PEMF and how it can be a very dramatic wellness tool for your personal life or for you as a business owner. So that's what's going on with the Alexa app, and there is a briefing up today, and all you got to do is, just go into Alexa and ask her for the briefing. I also have had some requests for people. I made a video that talks about the FDA. Have you got that video, Brad, that we can play here in a second? Did you get that? So I want to play this little video for you, and then let you know that what we're going to do is we're going to put it on our YouTube page. So if you're a practitioner, you can go to the YouTube page, get this link, share it with your customers. Again, that's going to help your credibility and authority with your customers. If you're interested in MagnaWave, it's in the FDA, you can go to the YouTube page and view this short video. So let's take a look at it here. Okay, so we're back. That's the FDA video kind of outlining how much FDA has been approved and the different modalities, and the modality is FDA approved, but the different devices and what it's been approved for with the FDA, and that brings a whole other conversation that maybe we could have. So it'll be on YouTube, so if you want to grab that link and share that with your customers, or if you want to go there, folks, and take a look at it at your desire as you're learning more about PEMF, please go to the MagnaWave YouTube channel and search out the FDA, and you'll be able to see that particular video anytime you need it. Did get a question from Janet. She asked, does the Alexa app work without the dot? And the answer is yes. She has an iPhone. You can go to the App Store if you have an iPhone and search Alexa, and it'll come up, and there is a dedicated app for the iPhone that you can pull it up and install it, register for it if you don't have Alexa in your home, and then you can go into the app and search out flash briefings and pull up the MagnaWave flash briefing, or use Alexa for whatever else you want to search for. And so that, yes, it is available on Android or iPhones. I use mine on my iPhone. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick, and we'll see what today's flash briefing is if you'd like to hear today's flash briefing. She's coming up here. Okay. Alexa, what's my flash briefing for today?
Here's your flash briefing from Magna Wave.
When I first started with MagnaWave, I just traveled around the country, different horse shows, different venues, different conventions, treating people, small animals, or horses. And that's what I was doing. I was a practitioner. I never thought about selling machines. Then I had the person at Churchill Downs wanted to get off the horses and be able to make a living and not have to ride horses every morning. That worked. Then I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm treating horses, and I was getting ready to leave town, and this one lady comes up to me and she says, what are we going to do when you leave, when you go to wherever you're going tomorrow, Oklahoma or wherever it may be? She said, I want to do this. I want to buy one of these machines, and I can continue to help the people. And that's exactly what happened. She was my second or third deal. I just really hadn't planned on doing that. But when we learned that other people could take this, take what we had learn from us and go help others, it was wonderful. It was very rewarding to me to be able to see someone else be able to carry this on into their community or into their discipline and help other people and other animals be healthier and happier.
Here you go.
Gary V365.
Okay. Now I need to tell her to stop. Alexa, stop. So, that's the Alexa Flash Briefing. You can get it on your iPhone. You can get it on anything or get a dot. We are giving some dots away for people who buy machines so they can have the dot. We're going to have, the next place we're going with this is we're going to have skills. We're actually going to teach classes through this in total environment with Alexa, Siri on the iPhone, Google Home, to be able to go in. We want to take it to the point that you'll be able to pick up your phone and say, Alexa, how do we treat this? Or how is MagnaWave used for that? And it'll give you the description, the answer that you're looking for. Again, our whole thing is about your health and wellness, or your ability to use this tool to the best advantage available to build your business or to take care of your customers that you may have through your medical practice, your private practice, or whatever it may be. It's all about the health and wellness. It's exciting to me to see now well over 500 people actively developing these health and wellness services to their particular customers. All right, I need to go back and see questions. Here we go. I'm back. Let's see, get the comments. So that was the question that was had about good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're glad that you're here. Tim's with us, Aaron's with us, Idle Hour's with us. Jason Bill joined us. Janet, thank you for being with us. Tracy. So if you have questions, just put them into the chat box and we'd be more than happy to answer them. A question that I received is, when do you treat and how do you treat a puncture wound? Well, as you know, puncture wounds are really tough because something goes in, comes right out, and then its skin appears to close over it. So you got a real potentiality when you're dealing with puncture wounds for interior infection. It's hard to get to. It's one of the reasons for tetanus shots. But when can you begin to treat that for healing? And the answer is, one of the people has talked to me about this already, but the answer is if there's no bleeding. I mean, if it's a puncture and it's bleeding, you don't want to treat because we want the bleeding to stop. We don't want to enhance the bleeding. We don't increase the blood pressure when we're treating, but we do improve the blood flow so the blood's going to flow. And so if it's actively bleeding, we don't want to be treating. But once the bleeding is taken care of and stopped, then you can begin to treat to help heal at the very level of where the puncture wound occurred. So if it's not bleeding, begin to treat, and you can help the health and wellness of that particular injury improve. Okay, another question that I received is, I got a 5-year-old with a head cold, can I treat? And so can you treat a 5-year-old? Or a lot of people treat their children and their infants all the time. And we're not doing anything that is going to be contraindicated to treating a younger person. They don't need treatments typically as much because they don't get hurt and they're healthy. You can put a coil on a child's shoulder and you won't get any movement at all, whereas you put it on an adult shoulder or someone who's older and you get a lot of movement with what's going on because they've done things to hurt it. Children as a rule, or young people as a rule, don't have the indications that this can help. But can it help speed up the healing and the wellness of someone that's got a fracture or something like that. The FDA shows how these devices and how PEMF can be very beneficial in those particular types of indications. So the head code to help clear the sinuses, why not? And can it be used? For sure. Certainly you want to be low. You want to make sure that you're not over stimulating someone to where they're uncomfortable. But that's the kind of situation that you want to look at. If there's something going on that is really medically involved, you certainly want to talk to your doctor and get the discussion at hand as to how it should be used. Always always consult your doctor when you've got things like that you want to talk about and pursue. But we're here to answer the questions to help you get some information as you go. So again, if you have a question, just post it there into the chat box. I'd be happy to take a look at it. Tell you a little story here, something that's happened. We have a customer who is a physical therapist and has had a hip replacement and now a knee replacement, and has used the MagnaWave to help the inflammation reduction and the pain relief after his hip replacement, and also for his knee replacement. A little update in that whole situation. When he used the MagnaWave after the hip replacement, within 3 days he was off his medication, feeling much better, able to go back to work much quicker than what they thought he would be able to do. Knee replacement was a much more painful thing for him, much more involved, had much more going on afterwards. He was having a lot of drainage, a lot of bleeding that continued to persist. And every indication is different, every condition is different that somebody is working on, and so his doctor did not want him doing anything until and we would concur, until the drainage and the bleeding stopped. Well, and so that took a couple of weeks for that to be in control, just by the nature of what they did. Well, something happened during that time, and that was a buildup of scar tissue as it was trying to heal during the drainage process. And then all of a sudden the doctor said, hey, you can start using your MagnaWave now to treat your knee, but we've had a buildup of scar tissue. We may have to go back in there and get rid of that scar tissue surgically so it doesn't impede and get in the way of what's going on. And so now we've got a two-edged sword we're dealing with here. We had drainage, and if we could have been treating somewhat during that drainage process, maybe the scar tissue would not have developed and things could have been held in check. Now he's begun to treat, and he's treating regularly, and with the hope that when he goes back to the doctor in a couple of weeks, that the scar tissue has been contained and the healing has progressed enough that he doesn't have to go in and have the scar tissue removed. Jason Bill may be able to relate to this. Because he's had a knee replacement and used the device extensively to help his healing during the knee replacement process. But that's, you get into situations that's it's kind of like people ask questions about colic, and when a child colics, they cry, and we know it, and we work, and we do, and we got all this stuff. When a horse colics and it gets to be a problem, it becomes very serious. And for a longest time, we had a situation that, well, do we treat colic? Do we not treat colic? Well, all of a sudden the horse is going to die, and so treat the colic. And the vets say, sure, treat the colic. And when the horses start to recover very quickly and not die and all this, now they all of a sudden start realizing that, hey, maybe I can put this integrative process into my practice as a veterinarian and help these colic type situations. Of course, we know if it's constricted or something like that, surgery is always required if it's knotted or constricted or whatever the situation may be. But that's all at the call of a veterinarian who you want to work with closely. But when you get into those two-edged sword kind of things, it's kind of like pregnant mares. Don't treat pregnant mares. We don't want to do anything. Everything around pregnancy is often contraindicated. But you have a situation that a horse is going to founder and die. Can we treat its feet and legs? Well, you got to talk with your vet and make some decisions. But when we get those two-edged swords, you got to just kind of deal with it, talk it through, and proceed as best you can refer and make it happen. So, any questions? Give me a call. Let's take a look here and see if we've had any other questions. What are comments? I want to go back, get rid of here. I want to get rid of this. Let's do. Okay, so here it is. Nope, no other questions at this point. But like I say, if you've got some questions, please ask. If you got a comment that you'd like to share, you can give me a call. It's let's see here, the number. bring it back up. 502-599-9722. 502-599-9722. I'm going to memorize that number so I don't have to look over here when I go to take a look at the number. A lot of things going on. We'll be at the Retired Horse Racehorse Project coming up here early October. That's where they take, you enter this contest. It'll be in Lexington. You have a retired thoroughbred that you're going to repurpose into a dressage horse, a jumping horse, an eventing horse, whatever it may be. And then you come to this competition and you compete with other people who have done the same thing. And the overall winner will be selected. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be at the Kentucky Horse Park. We'll be there. We're sponsoring the tailgate party that'll be taking place. So come down and see us if you're in the area and you want to have a good weekend. I believe it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th of October, the 1st of October, and so we'll be there. And then we'll also be at Equestricon, which is during the Breeders' Cup here in Louisville again this year. So we'll be there as a sponsor also, so come see us. We'll be having some new equipment being shown. Got a lot of new things going on with various complementary equipment and some new machines. The B2 machine, the low power brain and body machine that helps with sleep and relaxation and attention and that whole aspect of what's going on. We'll be talking about those. We'll also be covering that more in this particular thing. You know, another question I'm often asked is we carry a lot of stuff. When you go to the website, you look at supplements, and we've got the C60 and we've got the Hydrowave water and various supplements that we have. And people say, why do you do that? Why do you have those particular products on your website now, and are you going to add and change and do more? We have them there for a couple of reasons. They are processes that we have personally used and have received positive results using the supplementation that we talk about on the website. And I kind of, in my own mind, it's kind of disease defense. For example, the Hydrowave, it goes into the body and helps fight bacteria in the body of similar charge. So it doesn't attack good bacteria, it attacks more of a diseased bacteria, comes apart, attacks it, kills it, hopefully, and helps eliminate that situation in the body. It's just something to do to add to it, and so forth with the C60. The C60 helps. It helps with the telomeres, the length of the telomeres, and the carbon 60 is the product, and it just is very beneficial. My personal testimonial there is that yesterday I had another physical. I get 2 physicals a year, and I went back, and since I've been using the C60, my blood work has been absolutely perfect. My doctor looked at me yesterday and said, I don't know what you're doing, but compared to what we were doing with you a year and a half ago, my diabetic numbers are non-diabetic, my triglycerides are good, and my A1C, everything is just better than it's ever been, and it only occurred when I started taking the C60 as a regular disease defense type of thing, used in conjunction with our various products. And then you get to where there's a lot of integrative therapies and products out there that people have found work good with specific diseases, that whatever disease that you might want to talk about. And so people are traveling all over the world to get some of these things, or go to clinics where they can have things done that maybe are not readily available in the United States. But from the supplementation side, if we can find some of these products and bring them to you that you can utilize in your practice or for your health and wellness, that's why they are there. That's why we're looking for things that are complementary to what we do, because a lot of times people have always said, well, what about laser and MagnaWave? Well, laser's fine. Laser works real well. MagnaWave works very well also, and sometimes used in concert, they're incredible. Sometimes you don't need both, but so there's always complementary things that are available and can go on that can be beneficial. So that's why we do that. That's why we have these things. That's why we talk about them. For us to think that we're a one-trick pony, that's great. And really, in many instances, I do think we're a one-trick pony. We got the thing that will do and help in a lot of different instances. But I do know that there are times that complementary integrative supplements and processes, and in many cases complementary devices, are all good for our health and wellness and for the wellness of your animals or whatever. So that's why we do those things, and we have those available to you to discuss. And I'll tell you that personally, it doesn't go on there if we haven't used it, if we don't see the belief. And we have countless people who have used it with us to use these products and for their health and wellness. Okay, enough said. Not trying to sell that, just trying to answer a question that I've been asked. So any other questions? Just put them up there. Been here about 28 minutes now. Did we get a question? Oh, see, they're not showing up on my thing. Let's see, FDA. All right, let's see. We're going to go. Oh, you got a lot of questions. Can using MagnaWave on someone with onset of shingles make the shingles break out more? Great question, Wendy. I can tell you that in personal use within our family and people that have used MagnaWave, it helps take away the inflammation. It's not going to necessarily spread what's going on with the shingles. It will help take away inflammation, will help the body better defend what's going on with the shingles. Am I going to tell you that you don't need medication from your doctor or you don't need to do other things? No. I mean, shingles are no fun. Shingles are uncomfortable. But when you start dealing with the pain and as it's developing, they're going to run their course. But if you can get your aid, if we can help with that along the way, then that's a good thing. Let's see. What is the status of the FDA approval for the Maia machine? Great question, Robert. We have 3 devices, the Semi and the Maia, and then the Wave Pro are devices that we have that are in the process of doing final studies, safety testing. The Semi and the Maia are both through the safety testing situation. I'll just give you a total update on where all of this is. And then we are using these devices in our 3 studies. The study at the Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit for venous wound healing, the study at the Palm Beach Veterans Hospital for bed sores, and then the study in Florida at the University of Miami for inflammation reduction of joint and knees, joint inflammation reduction, arthritis, injury, whatever it may be. Are the studies that are being completed. You know, the FDA, you can go to the FDA and say, hey, this equipment is approved over here for this, and so we want to say, we want what they call a predicate approval that we're there. And you can do that, and the FDA says, okay, there's other magnetic devices approved, so you have it. Does that mean it's billable to insurance? Does that mean it can be used according to the FDA's mind to treat specific indications? No. It just means that there's a predicate device out there and that this is not dangerous from that type of perspective. So in many cases, people just want the FDA clearance, but they're not looking for specific uses. If you want to use it for specific things, you need to do studies, which we're doing, and we've done in Cuba, and you present these studies and you want to do these specific things. That's why there are devices for incontinence in women, and so the device is approved for incontinence in women, and it's manufactured by this company, and it's used in this manner. Does that mean that other PEMF devices, as we know and have learned, are not effective for similar type of treatment? They are, but for the FDA's purposes and someone to bill for insurance and so forth, these are the ones that are approved. So where we are is the studies are being ongoing now. You can search what's going on at these universities, and the studies will be there that we are doing them. And once completed, then they'll be compiled, and we'll give it back to the FDA. You know, it's hard for me to say if I said, 90 days, and it takes 120 days to compile the report and give it to the FDA, then it's up to them. They're going to review it. They're going to take a look at it and see what the results were before they make a stand. Can I tell you that the studies are almost completed? Can I tell you that the reports are being compiled? Can I tell you that at that point it's going to go to the FDA? Yes. Could that be done and completed in 6 months? Could it take 8 months? I really can't say, because once it's submitted, it's really kind of out of our hands. It's kind of like the testing. The whole testing thing for CE approval in Europe and for Health Canada approval was turned upside down this year, because for years they've been working to bring a worldwide balance or a worldwide homogenization of these rules and things like that. And so what they did this year, by getting everything under kind of one umbrella, that's not the FDA, this we're talking about worldwide CE and that type of stuff, they changed their clearance and their testing and their audits of the manufacturers. So what used to be able to be completed in one day by these auditing agencies for the FDA or by Health Canada and these various places now requires 2 days. Well, that means you're either going to stretch it out twice as long, or you're going to have twice as many people performing these audits. And so there's a lot of and the FDA, or not the FDA, but the factories that are cleared for CE approval in Europe and for Health Canada in the United States, or actually anywhere around the world, were put on a list. And they're working down the list, reapproving these factories for CE manufacturing and approval around the world. And that's just, it's backed us up with our final audits of our factory, pushed us further down the list because we were new to that part of the game. So that's kind of giving you an idea what's going on internationally and what's going on locally with the Maia device. Robert. Okay, Jason Bill writes, yes, my lymph nodes went into shock and wouldn't pull fluid off my leg. Once I got home from the hospital and started treating my leg with the MagnaWave, the swelling was finally maintained. Last Wednesday, I did get the all clear from my ortho doctor. She doesn't need to see me for another year. She's impressed with the range of motion and healing from the MagnaWave process. Jason, thank you so much for sharing that. Jason also says, I'm still walking with a slight limp due to one leg is longer than the other. Left leg is not bow-legged or as bad anymore. Good. Laugh out loud. Okay. But other than that, everything is going great. So Aaron also goes back to treating people with shingles. Petra asked, can it be harmful for a person to regularly use high frequency level with the Maia? No. You want to use what is comfortable, Petra, and let me explain that a little bit. The difference between the high intensity treatments with the semi machine or the Maia machine and a spark chamber machine, which would be the Pulse Pro or the Max device. The signals that's produced, there's two things about the softness of the signal with the Maia and semi machines compared to the Max and the Pulse Pro, is that it does not take the amount of voltage to create the wave or the signal with the digital devices as it does with the spark chamber devices. It'll take upwards of 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 volts to create the signal that is delivered with the spark chamber devices. And that might only be 400, 500 volts with the digital devices, which means the signal enters the body softer. It enters the body in a more comfortable fashion. So what that means when someone says, and I've had this happen, you'll treat somebody, you're treating them on a 5 with the Maia, for example, or a 6, and they're very comfortable. And you begin to turn it up to a 7 or 8, and they're still comfortable as they're healing. There's other situations where they've got a sore shoulder and they want all the energy they can get, and so you turn it all the way up on the Maia, and they say, well, I just don't feel it like I did on the other machine, or I can take more with this than more than a 5 with this than I could with the other machine. Well, it's because it's softer. So basically what's happening is you're giving them more energy more comfortably. And the whole secret comes down to we want to provide as much energy as possible comfortably. So what's that mean when you start going back and talking about the spark chamber machines? That means that as you turn it up, you may get it mid-range, and they're getting a lot of action in the shoulder and it's working, but they don't want any more. That's plenty. Whereas with the Maia, you might be able to still give them more energy comfortably. Now, If you grew up driving a truck and all of a sudden you're made to drive a sedan and you want to drive that truck, you're not going to enjoy the sedan. So if you grew up on a Max or a Pulse Pro type of machine and you like what it does and how it works, you understand it, you know how to drive it down the road safely and accurately, then that's what you want. If you grew up driving a sedan, that's what you want to drive, and that's what you want to be in. And so, you know, but when you got to drive back and forth, I don't like driving that sedan, I want to drive my truck. And that's what you deal with in those types of situations. So is it harmful, Petra, again, for a person to regularly use high frequency level with the Maia? No. Now, with that said, if you treated them on their shoulder every day on high, there's a point. If you remember, we've talked about the tissue responds more favorably when it's approached in different intensities and different directions. So you might want to change the coiler you're using, you might want to change the placement of coil on the shoulder, and you might want to, for a day or two, or every second or third, fourth day, turn it down and just treat. The tissue is saying, oh, okay, I'm not getting used to this. If you put the coil on the same way on the arm or the shoulder every day, treat it at 10 every day, in time, the body's going to say, well, you're just doing the same thing. I'm going to slough this off. Cells have cellular memory. Muscles have cellular memory. And so we want to basically keep surprising them. That's why when people work out, one day they do the lift, the next day they do this, the next exercise they do that, and they have a routine, so their body is constantly being built up in various areas that complement each other and help them improve in that fashion. So you certainly want to do that as you're using the Maia device on this particular indication, person, whatever it is that you're treating. It's not going to hurt them to use it on high, but you want to fool with the body a little bit so it's you don't entrain it to the point that it doesn't care what you're doing. You don't want that. You want to always be helping your client be better. Andrew's watching. Okay, let's see. Even though it's softer, it will still twitch the muscle, won't it? Yes, it will. Talking about the Maia device. Yes, it is softer, but yes, it will still twitch the muscle, no question. Nate did a video yesterday using the Wave Pro, which is a device that allows you to use 2 attachments at the same time, each attachment individually controlled, and we showed, we were using it on a horse because that's where a lot of people talk about the wave wings and so forth, but we showed muscle movement at various levels with the digital device. So yes, that it's especially to this, let me see here what it says, to the Wave Pro. Yes, you're still going to get movement. Now with the Semi, there's a point because it's not as strong as the Maia, so you can certainly feel it, but do you always get the muscle twitch? Well, it depends again which attachment you're using. But what it is, it's a ringer. The signal goes up, it's called a ringer. The signal goes up and it comes down and it stops. That's a ringer type of device. An oscillating machine, the signal doesn't stop, and that's where we found that the high voltage machines, or the way the signals are designed, with needing 400 volts or more to go, then you get a start-stop ringer type of signal, which is very beneficial, and that can be there in a very low powered machine as well, but that's just how you engineer and design the signals. Petra Jean, can it cause cancer? There's been no documentation that these devices cause cancer. If they did, it would not. They've been on the market as class 1 devices in the United States for 25-30 years. No indications of that. There were a lot of conversations in the beginning as to use around cancer and how it was brought into the country and used for cancer. That's a whole nother story. I guess I brought it up. I need to answer it. The devices were originally bought. One device was originally one company brought devices, let me be clear, into the country as seed germinators. They're very effective as seed germinating devices to help the seeds grow more fully, more rapidly, be healthier, so on and so forth. They brought it in as a seed germinator, went out to California and started a cancer clinic treating cancer because they could do that in Europe where it was approved for human use for cancer in Europe, and they brought it here wrong, and the FDA heard about it and said, can't do that. You didn't bring it in this way. You don't have clearance to do that in this country. So you got to take the machine. You got to go home. You don't have to take the machines home that you have here, but you can't do this until you go through the normal processes of bringing something into the United States. And that's where it was. They didn't ban it. They didn't say it was killing people. They didn't say anything like that it was causing cancer. But they did not bring it in properly. So as a matter of fact, in cancer clinics all around the world, PEMF devices, our devices in many cases, are used for tumor reduction and use about how they can use them. Now that's other countries, that's what they do. In Europe, PEMF treatment is a standard form, accepted form of medical treatment and used. In the United States, we got a ways to go, and which we're in the process of working on. But can I say that it would cause cancer? There's no reason or documentation to do that. To be very candid, in the beginning, when I was walking around all over the country at horse shows and conventions, people would come up and talk about it and what it's doing and what it can help things spread. And I had many debates with doctors when I didn't know they were doctors about, well, this is just going to cause this problem to be worse. And again, I would say no documentation and so on and so forth. And then, well, you can't do that because that improved blood flow is just going to make it spread. And so my answer became, so that means that I can't exercise, I can't take a walk if I have some form of disease, because that's going to improve my blood flow. That's going to move things around. And well, then that would kind of stop the whole conversation. But they still didn't understand what was going on, how it was being used. It wasn't approved at that time for anything. And as a matter of fact, today there is a PEMF device, FDA approved, for brain tumors, glioblastoma brain tumors, to help slow down their growth, to help, in many cases, hopefully help the other medications kill the cancer and be very beneficial in that, as an FDA approved cancer treatment. It's called the Optune, and it is used. They wear like a stocking cap, a ball cap on the head, and it's got PEMF coils, and they're supplying the PEMF signal to help reduce inflammation, to help the blood flow, to help things get to these cancerous cells and hopefully help kill them off. The cancer does not like oxygen. So if you can have good blood oxygen, good body oxygen, and that cancer doesn't like that. So a good oxygenated state is a good thing. And can you say that it's going to cure cancer? No, but you can say that cancer doesn't like oxygen. So anything you do to improve your body's oxygenation during that whole process is, I think, and people would say perhaps, a good thing. So all those, Sandy, good morning. Let's see. If you visit PEMF, you can search. Oh, okay, talking about you can search. And that's true. The PEMF International Research and Education Group is a group where you can go request to join, and everybody gets in basically, but it is a private group. And the reason Facebook set these groups up this way is you can search in a group. When you come to the MagnaWave Facebook page and we post various information and we post, you'll see how people are using this wonderful therapy to feel better, and so on and so forth, to enhance other things that they're doing. Basically all it does is help oxygenation, sets the body up to better heal itself. And you can see all of that, but you can't go there and search for it. So if you want to search, you go to the MagnaWave International Resources and Education, and you can put something that you're interested in learning more about in the search bar. It's on the left-hand side of the page. Go to there and put to you. This would be left as I look over here. But go there and you can search a particular indication, and you can see what people have done and how people have used PEMF therapy to better aid these types of situations. Great place to go. MagnaWave International Resources and Education, PEMF Resources and Education. I've let 6 new people in. I approved 6 new people this morning who wanted to come in the group. and learn more. So that's a place you can go. Thank you for sharing that, to learn certainly a lot more about PEMF and be able to search things that you want to know more about. Certainly you can Google as well various indications, and to see there's thousands of studies have been done around the world and with regard to PEMF and how it is utilized. Our goal is to be as transparent as possible. Our goal is to answer your questions as best we can to learn more about PEMF. And certainly I always need to say that we're not diagnosing anything. We're not telling you what it's going to heal, but we're giving you an idea that you can go learn more, consult with your physician or your doctor or your veterinarian to learn more about how things can help. It's amazing to me every day how doctors are saying, yes, now you can start treatment on your knee, or yes, you can start treatment after this. Yes, you can get off chemotherapy and let it get out of the body and start treating the body to be healthier and have larger white blood cells, better oxygenation, that whole thing. So people are really beginning to pick it up and understand it in the United States and be able to utilize it for their health care and wellness. Let's see, any other questions? Good, they posted the link to the international page. So if you haven't any other questions, we're running low on time here. Just fire the question at me and I'd be more than happy to answer it for you. If you got something you'd like to have answered, send me a message through Facebook. Just go to the MagnaWave Facebook page, send a message, we'll get it, we'll bring it back to you next week. We are going to be having, I think, this coming week's webinar is a webinar for our certified practitioners. The following Thursday will be a webinar that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be, I'm going to be interviewing some folks from Hope for Cancer in Tijuana, Mexico, and the folks with Hope Truth About Cancer, and talking with Ty Bollinger and his wife Charlene about that. I think it's Charlene or Charlotte. I'm sorry, I apologize if they haven't seen this met you guys here recently, but at any rate, we want to have a lot of various webinars dealing with specific topics. If you got something you'd like for me to cover in a webinar, just send us the question. We'll be happy to answer it and give you the answers that you're looking for at that time. Okay, well, it looks like we are just about running out of time. I want to thank you for joining me. We look forward to being back with you next Tuesday again with MagnaWave Office Hours. And again, we're here to answer your questions. Just give us a shout at the office and we'll help you out in any way we can. So have a great day. Wave on, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.